Man,
I like the cymbal at the end.
I love that. I was about to say, I love the drum solo. Just hit that reverb. Just bam, let's go, baby.
And then the Play Out Loud logo comes on. It was really well timed. I loved it.
Yeah,
I was back here like, oh yeah, get it.
yeah. The
I
second
think-
time.
Right, the second time. The first time was just a trial run.
Yeah,
Can we run that back, Brad?
Can we,
Let's
yeah, let's
that
just
back.
run it back one more time. That's better than what we got.
Not really.
There we go.
USC's being funny. Welcome, friends, families, anyone else, dogs, cats. I don't know what you're doing at home anymore. Welcome to QSE Play Out Loud. My name is Dylan Weissman, along with the infamous JSG and the infamous DJ Nate Nelson. What's up, guys?
Chilling, man.
Woo.
Is it fair to call you guys infamous? Like, you're pretty famous and infamous. I think you're both. I think it depends on what day.
I mean,
Depends on who
in my
you talk to.
in my zip code, I'm just saying maybe.
Yeah. My
Are there
code's
zip
pretty
codes you're
big.
not allowed to go to now?
I can't go anywhere. I can't leave this room.
True. Good point.
So, guys, let's we haven't done this in a bit. Like, I was shaking off the rust because summertime gets real, crazy for all of us, whether it be with vacations or, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've had the busiest summer I've ever had.
Up until about 10 days ago, Dylan, I was pretty damn busy myself.
Yeah, it's what
Nuts.
Jeff. It's been busy for you too, right?
Bro, it's like literally 4 or 5 events every single week, and then the other 2 days is catch up and appointments.
Yeah.
So it's good. I'm happy. I'm not complaining. Happy to have it, but whoo, talk about feast or famine in a I don't know, in a 16-month period.
Yeah, it makes you really appreciate the work hard, play harder aspect, because when you do work, and then you do get that day of kind of R&R, you kind of go hard, and you realize, like, listen, I've earned it, I deserve it, and it feels good to kind of relax a little bit.
Yo, Nate, you were on like an absolute tear. Like you drove yourself into the ground, man. So before we get into that, I want to hear what you guys have been up to the whole summer. Let's reset and let everyone know. Hey guys, this is our DJ discussion. We're super soaked. I think that's psyched and stoked to bring to you guys awesome educational content, inspiring content, entertaining content, all about the DJ and live events entertainment realm. So my name's Dylan. I'm from Explosive Entertainment out of Manalapan, New Jersey. We have JSG. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
JSG, Jersey boy with the SCE event group. I'm just probably 20 minutes up the road from where Dylan is right now currently. And then down... What's that?
We got together because I'm in the office today as opposed to the Philadelphia.
Yeah. One of these out to get over there. Yeah.
You guys are about 20 minutes away from each other, and I'm about 20 hours from you guys via the vehicle, probably.
Yes, sir.
It is.
So the guy with the microphone who sounds just juicy all the time, Nate Nelson out of Dallas, Texas. Man?
Is that a good thing? Like, does this microphone? There's no way this microphone sounds as good as my studio mic.
No.
Yeah,
But it sounds okay.
I mean,
It
you
sounds
sound
okay.
good.
Okay,
It's
cool.
the voice. It's the voice. It
It's the
transcends
voice.
the hardware.
So, yeah, absolutely, guys. My name's Nate Nelson. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I am quarantined at home. Yes, the COVID finally caught up to me after 16 months. I've been home by myself for the last 10 days. I caught it after I got back from my, as Dylan would call it, jet-setting adventure of the summer. Yeah, so it's been a long and gruesome and fun. Like Jeff said, in-your-face summer. Events are happening 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row all the time. And I've kind of got a 2-week break now, and my clients are being taken care of by other people on my team, so I can rest up and be back to 100 to be able to tackle the fall.
So let's get it right out of the gate. How do you feel now?
Man, I feel good, honestly. I may sound a little nasally and congested a little bit still, and that's just, I guess, part of it, and my body's been fighting it. But, besides the fatigue, The first 48 hours were rough. I slept like 37 hours straight, didn't eat, didn't do anything, stayed in bed, which is what they say is good. Rest and do those things. I wasn't vaccinated. I will be getting vaccinated as soon as I'm healthy enough to do that. And, you know, I feel good now. I don't feel like I could go and run a marathon right now, but I think the fatigue is still there. My body's still, you know, I think it takes a lot. And I think if you guys have done any research on the virus, you know that it takes it out of you. But for what it has been, I feel great. I'm kind of rejuvenized. I got my turntables right here in front of me. I've been working and practicing and playing and kind of getting back into the Twitch world. I streamed last night, and I know that I said I would never stop streaming, but it's been 48 days since I have, so it felt good to be back on the Twitch. And Jeff, thanks for popping in last night.
I got the notification as well, but I was putting the baby to bed. The minute you went live, my watch was like, Nate Nelson's live. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's been a while, man, but it felt good. So I got the studio set up here at the office at home, and just been knocking out some work, getting some things done. And it was actually kind of a blessing in disguise because I got to rest. I've got to catch up because, as Dylan said, I was kind of all over the place. I was in Chicago for a week, and then a vacation with the Roushes in Broken Bow, and then a vacation with my wife for our anniversary, and then Hilton Head for a week. So I'd been gone for about a month straight, and it kind of helped me catch back up on some of my admin duties and things like that to get caught up and schedule meetings, which I have the rest of the afternoon today.
Yeah, you were on a tear, and we're gonna get into all of that. Jeff, in 60 seconds or less, tell me how your summer's been.
Literally, I don't even remember that there was a summer. It's almost fall, and the last time I looked at the calendar, I'm like, oh, we got a week till Memorial Day weekend. I can't wait, dude. It's been awesome, but honestly, it's just you're doing 4 or 5 weddings a week and trying to squeeze some nightlife stuff in there and some production stuff in between and stacking Zoom calls on Mondays and Tuesdays and then trying to go your paperwork and your prep and then, and we're still DJs, by the way. So like hunting for music and, that kind of stuff. It's been a blur. It's literally been a blur. Like I just can't even catch up. I started to outsource some video editing stuff. I got all the stuff I've been capturing. I just can't even show it.
That was the question I was going to ask you, man, because I did a lot of content creation at Hilton Head and in Chicago, and I just if there was one thing I could ask you, and Jeff, you could give me the best advice in the world, it'd be like, how the hell do you stay caught up with editing photos and videos and stuff like that? But I'm going to have to definitely pick your brain on that outside of the conversation.
Word.
So all right, it's been an absolute blur, but I want to know what you guys have been up to. So all the different conferences you went to, I want to know like the little nuggets, the little juicy things that you found, things you've learned from your summer gigs, because this has been a summer like no other. I mean, in the mitzvah world, doing mostly bar and bat mitzvahs, we actually break during the summer. I think I would go 4 or 5 weeks without a mitzvah just straight. So it's been different because I've been doing mitzvahs every single weekend because people aren't going away to camp like they normally would, and they're catching up from last year. So what are some of the things that you have done this summer, whether it be a conference, whether it be events? Tell me some of the cooler things that you've done and what you've learned there doing it, because this is all about educating, inspiring, and entertaining. So Nate, let's start with you. Tell us about Chicago.
Well, Chicago was the marquee show. I got to speak my brand new seminar called Between the Details, where I kind of talked about the things that I do between the special moments of an event to make sure that, the entire event is stress-free and seamless. I really got to dig into a lot of the little bitty things that I do that, for me, were just everyday things that I always did, but it wasn't until Jordan, who's not with us today, was here in Dallas, and he went to an event with me and was like, man, you should really talk about some of these things that you do. So it was really good to kind of see from someone else's perspective what I do and help me put that into words and put that into a seminar, and I got a lot of great feedback on that, and people kind of really, once I left Chicago, I was kind of still riding on a high from that, where people were still just like, yo, I took actionable items that you gave me at that conference and was able to implement them the first week back from that show. Chicago was great. I think that KC's got an amazing thing going there. I think that show is really going to take off over the next few years, and he's already blasting content for next year on the new hotel, the speakers, the keynotes, things like that. And if you're a wrestling fan, I don't know if you saw Dallas Diamond Page is going to be a keynote speaker at Marquee next year, so that's really cool. From Chicago, I came home and spent some time with Glenn, my business partner, and our families. Our kids grow up together and have had a lot of fun, so we got to go spend some time and get some R&R on the lake. And then my wife and I took a trip to Colorado for our anniversary.
Your miles must be sick. You must have great miles.
I'm almost to A-list, bro. I just like literally got off the phone with Southwest today, and I'm almost to A-list, so that's good. 14 flights this year. I think that says something with the fact of coming out of a pandemic. I've had 14 flights, which is kind of cool, and I've had a couple on American as well. So, and then went to Hilton Head for Think Tank, which we all came live to you guys from a couple weeks ago. And man, it's just been fun. This summer's been it's been a lot, like we all talked about. But I'm excited that I got to share, I got to learn, continuing to learn. I'm refreshed, which is crazy because the world kind of just knocked me down as soon as I got home. But I'm ready to be out of this quarantine so I can go start implementing all the nuggets and things that I learned this summer.
Yeah, Jeff, what's the one thing you learned this summer?
Your book report. One thing I learned. Well, I mean. I think for me, I learned that what I did before we got crazy again definitely put me in a great place. It's just staying fit, exercising. Like, although, I mean, it is crazy trying to do like 5 events every week, having, like some months I'm doing, there's 30 days in the month and I'm doing 26 events or something like that, which is crazy. But I guess I learned that, keeping your body like in event shape ready no matter what's going on is like it like, because with us in this world, like it's feast or famine, and you guys both know that there's events that are planned in your calendar and there's people that call up out of nowhere, like even corporate life. Hey, we're planning this something, it's happening in 3 weeks, we want to add this to it, and you're like, whoa, okay, so just, and a lot of that. So I think for me, I think I learned that like I did the right stuff. So I'm to this point that, even though I don't have any real extra, not crazy downtime, I got a day, 2 days here, but at least I know that my endurance level is, I think I'm going to make it to to wherever get back to like where the events are flowing in at a normal pace as opposed to, like squeeze in 2 years into one. So
isn't it crazy?
Me, I think that was awesome.
Isn't it crazy the how much you forget how much like being in event shape you need to be. You need to be on your feet 10-12 hours during that day, loading in, loading out, and then doing it again the next day, and then doing it again the next day, and then after day 3, that you did something right if after doing 3 events in a row you can wake up and go take a walk or go play a basketball game from my point of view. So for me, I'm in 2 basketball leagues, which really helped me stay in shape and stay fit and kind of keep me in event shape. But still, there's nothing like standing in one position behind your booth. And I know, Jeff, you can't stay still, so you're one that always is out running around in people's faces. But
I mean, even on this, I'm like this during these things. I know.
Yeah, just got to stay moving, bro.
Yeah, no, but it is. I mean, it's shoot, and I felt like it's. I think that was just amazing. Just the fact that I can treat that Monday wedding the same as I treated that previous Wednesday wedding. You know what I mean? Which is great. And that was shoot, I guess, a little more than 60 seconds, but I'm telling you, I think that's like the jam. I think that's what the biggest thing I took out of what's been going on. Like I don't have enough time, I think, since we're so busy to even reflect on what I did 4 days ago at an event. But overall, like asking that question, I guess I would say that I'm like I can't believe I'm still in go mode. I'm okay,
I think there's a massive need in the entertainment industry for health and wellness. It was a little while ago that I remember seeing, I think it was Randy Bartlett did the no more fat DJ or
that
something
was
like that.
Jana. I think it was Jana. Yeah.
Jana did it first. So that hashtag had like spun out really, really popular like 4 years ago. And it's kind of like taken a dive since then. But I think that this year, more than ever, we as an industry need to get ourselves back in event shape because our clients are relying on us to be at our top notch, and they can't know that you did 4 events earlier this week at their event. So the fact that Jeff, you're able to kind of press forward and not slow down because you're in good shape is extremely helpful for your brand, and it's going to pay off in dividends. So we're getting check-in from all over United Kingdom, Vancouver. I love that, guys. I love that. So thank you so much for checking in. I want to talk a little bit about gear for a second, because when we were in Hilton Head, Nate, we got to test drive some really awesome QSC gear. And did you mention that you had already like put them on order?
I already have my main system right now. I do have 2 of the KS118s. We at LaForce have 2 of the KS112s. I do not have any of the direct cardioid. I can't remember the name of them. The K. Brad can probably let me know in the chat what it's called. But the actual the longer sub that is dual subs that you can cardioid mode without having 2 of them. Correct. It's the KS212C. And that thing is phenomenal, Dylan. And I had seen that back in Vegas at Mobile Beat in 2019 when I was working in the demo room with Brad. And that sub blew me away then because, you know, as DJs, we know that the thump and the boom and the bass, and any musician that you are, like having that low-end sound can really take the energy level from not having it to having it. You can really feel like, you know, that music is inside of you. The energy, you feel it. The bass, you feel. But sometimes it's hard. You know, when we talk about being in shape, we also need to talk about our ears and keeping ourselves physically able to do this and taking care of ourselves and taking care of our ears. And so by using these cardioid subs and allowing to push the sound forward and not behind where we typically are, you can save your ears. You're not having to wear earplugs or keep your headphones on all the time. You can kind of actually, you know, it's more healthy for your ears. Not only does it sound great, but just Dylan, just tell me what it was like for you to stand in front of that speaker and feel the power and the energy coming from that 212C, and then step behind it and have a 15 decibel difference where that it's gone behind you. Just walk through that.
It was surreal, Jeff. Like, you would have been blown away by this thing. You weren't with us, but like it was so different because I've never experienced that dramatic of a change in a singular room. Like normally, like when you would go to a club or something, like you would get that decibel difference when you go to the bathroom. Like you
right, yeah.
Entirely. So the fact that QSC has come out with a product that delivers a great quality product out in the front and then protects the user in the back, I think speaks to the brand a lot. A few years ago, Nate, I had bought. I was actually covered by insurance. My in-ear molds. And they were literally fitted to my ear, and I got them. They're these guys right here, and I DJ, I MC with them every single weekend, and it's a -15 filter on it. -15 filter, and I have been using it every single week just to protect my ears, and I now have all of my guys getting these. They're just so important, and you can still hear everything. You can still feel yourself. Like, you don't have to take it out like an in-ear monitor for when you're like performing, you know, a jam session. So the fact that QSC is kind of taking this idea that we need to protect our clientele is powerful. Another
what brand is that?
Really cool. This is Microsonic. You can get them at any ENT. Any ENT. I think it was.
And you did a mold?
Out of pocket. Yeah, they're molds.
Yeah, you did a mold, yeah.
So I did a mold. And they fit, you know, there's a left and a right, and it fits perfectly in my ear and is super comfortable. I'll even put my headphones over them.
I think Glenn has those too.
Yeah. And you can change the filter out of it. So I have -15, which is this one right here. And I also have a total silence for when I'm doing like production in the back. So they're really, really great. I think it was $200 out of pocket for me. With my insurance, but I know that with the way that you have it set up, maybe in your company or in your state, you can get these covered under insurance, and they are awesome. The other cool part about it is you can get them any color you want, so you can get them branded. Like if your brands were pink and yellow, you can get them branded. I did mine clear, white, and black. That way, if I were ever drop it on the floor, I can find them, but they're not super obnoxious in my ear where you notice something's going on. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
What was the brand again? I'll post it on the link.
Microsonic.
Okay, gotcha.
Microsonic. I love them. I use them every single event. and they're this little pouch. I mean, it fits in my backpack, no problem.
Have you ever lost them, Dylan?
No, fortunately not. But if I did lose them,
have you ever dropped one? Because I know you said if you drop one, you kind of look on the floor, you got to find one. So you have.
Yes.
You have dropped it.
I have dropped it, and that's why it was so great that I had done it in black and white, because in a really dark room that white will show up, and in a really light room that black will show up. But I told them that I didn't want to notice it, so they're like, "All right, we're just gonna fill like on the side that the viewer would see, like in my ear. It's really not noticeable. That's really cool.
It's cool. I have to check them out.
The other thing that's really cool about those cardioids, guys, is I think that they become a selling point. So people ask me all the time, how do you sell yourself for more money than maybe your competitors? And a lot of it comes down to talent, but then it also comes down to the gear and how you use it. And I love that for us as QSC people to be able to come out and say, we're going to protect your guests. Grandma will not be coming home with, her ears ringing. And this is how we do it. We are creating the right sound that creates energy and vibrant feeling in the room, but also you're not going to get crushed by it like a concert would.
Yeah, but I think that it's just behind, Dylan. I don't know that you can actually.
Well, no. So
portray. Hey, Grandma, you come stand back here with me at the DJ booth, and we'll take care of your ears. Like,
well, no, I think. Yeah, no, I would say, yeah, Dylan. I understand what you're saying.
I'm just
I think
playing devil's advocate, though.
Yeah, I think that's more. I think it's more the experience. Like, I think when people leave the event, they'll be like, "It was great. You didn't blow my ears out." Like, I think that's the way good sound to me. It's almost like when you're on YouTube, you can't really hear a speaker on YouTube, someone talking about it. Right. It's someone that you respect in the game talks about a speaker, gives you enough influence that, hey, I got to go check this out because someone I respect that's using it, doing it. I think what you're saying, though, it makes sense, but I think that's something that it's a good tool to use. I think that's something that people appreciate that more over time through being at your events.
Yeah, it was less about like how the cardioid is minus 15 behind it because it's protecting us. But what it also does is it creates this really round, beautiful sound as opposed to being like overpowering or like, it matches up with the tops better. Like there's so many reasons why when you have great equipment, you can use it as a selling point. I do it with my lights all the time. I say, listen, our lights have a certain level of pan and tilt so we can ensure that we capture that right, angle for your first dance or that we can spotlight correctly. So I talk about equipment all the time in my sales process. And I remember one time someone said, your equipment doesn't matter. Anyone can buy speakers, anyone can buy lights, anyone can buy sound, whatever. I think that's actually coming back. I think that if you have the right stuff, you can use it as a sales tool.
Yeah, I mean, it's presentation. Of course, like I think anything right, like, first impressions is one thing. If it's set up the right way, I mean, you definitely can. I know there's clients that are into, there's clients that we work with that they're into that kind of stuff because they want a certain vibe. And there's certain clients that are just, they're more into like, how many flowers can I stuff on a table? You know what I mean? Like you get a mixture of both, but 100% agree that presentation it's almost half the battle. First impressions, people walk in and if shit looks pretty, the first thing they're thinking is pretty. And so you change their mind,
Yeah, absolutely. And I use that too, Dylan. Like, I know we've talked about it before, and Jeff, you're a big component of this as well, like the touch mix and being able to, actually use different speakers in different areas of the room. I definitely preach to my clients that I use a surround sound effect, and that's the easiest terminology for them to understand as a consumer is that surround sound. Everybody has that in their living room or on their theaters or TVs or whatever they have. So I let people know that I don't have to overbear the speakers that are in front to let everybody know what's going on, that everybody in the back is going to be able to hear because I've got multiple satellite speakers across the room that is going to evenly disperse the sound throughout the room to make it that it's more of a comfortable atmosphere. It's not overly loud, but it is, understandable and clear, and the clarity in the room is very nice. So, and being able to do that with my touch mix, I absolutely love it. Jeff's videos, if you guys haven't seen those, you need to check those out because he's got some really good informational videos on the touch mix and how he uses it and implements it in his events.
Well, we got to welcome Jonathan from Canada bought his touch mix. And he's, welcome to the family, dude. You've already now made the best investment you're gonna make for equipment. Like it's so powerful, guys. It's so powerful.
It's unbelievable. Just on the touch mix really quick, I had I've said this before, but like Jersey, we got a lot of bougie cinematographers, and I was doing this Israeli Armenian wedding over the weekend, and these guys had more crew than the Olympics, just shooting. They had a guy that just sat there, his just to work the knobs, and like it was just crazy. But the fact that we had literally that touch mixed, gave him his own aux channel, and he could just whatever, blah blah blah. I mean, literally, like that's gonna be. I'm gonna get weddings from not even from the client, like whatever. I'm gonna get weddings from that cinematographer, just because that you could tell that's there's certain people that you just get on the right side. They're like your biggest cheerleaders, and
absolutely
that touch mix on that day, I was like, it saved me. It was great.
And it goes back to all the things that we've talked about, Jeff, over the last few months, is like playing nice in the sandbox and being able to use the tools that you have. And, your seminar that you did in Midwest was like, having a space for the cinematographers and photographers to put their gear, like being friends to your other vendors that are at your events are going to get you referrals in the long run. And just being able to use the tools that you have and having something like that will make their job easier and make it where they're not over there bugging you 15 times. Hey, man, can you turn it up? My audio levels do this. Or can we do a sound check on this? And you know what? You can do a sound check on your microphone without sending it to your mains. You can actually pull your microphone up, turn it up on the aux, turn it down on your master, talk into the microphone like anybody would, and then now that cinematographer can get a sound check on their touch mix without ever having to send anything through. So sometimes, they're like, hey, can you do a quick announcement or something so I can sound check? I know you guys know what I'm talking about when you're doing weddings, but having that at your disposal is crazy. Let me tell you a story about a wedding I had about a month ago. I got a call from the planner, and she was like, hey, we're doing this worship ceremony. There's a worship team coming in, and they're going to play 2 songs before dinner, and we're just going to do worship. And I was like, okay, how many people is this going to consist of? And she was like, we're going to have 2 singers, a guitar, a keyboardist, and one of those Cabone drum things that they wanted to mic up as well. So I'm like, all right, I've got 2 inputs on my touch mix for my reins. I've got 2 inputs for my mic and my secondary mic. So, all right, I've got 4 inputs that I can put in. I need to mic 5 different things. So I ended up taking my secondary mic and using it as one of the instrumentalist microphones. But having the touch mix and being able to do this when they're doing worship, I could be anywhere in the room and make sure that sound was pure and clean through the entire room. And not only did I have just that worship team, but then the groom serenaded the bride after dinner as well. When she changed dresses, he came back in, he played guitar and then sang to her. So being super versatile and being able to do multiple live musicians, plus do my sound, plus do zones and delays and auxes for the videographers and all these things. If there's one tool in my bag that I think is my favorite tool, it's got to be my touch mix, and I can sit there and scream from the rooftops about this. And Jeff, I'm sure you're probably the same way now.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So real fast, let's try to hit it because you talked a little bit about it, but Jonathan's asking, any tips on how to use the touch mix? And mine is it's kind of like a one-word answer, but it's the anti-feedback. That's it. Just blank. The fact using that RTA.
Well, I mean. Just even get started, like the online tutorials that they have on QSC, like I got that first, I'm a visual guy, so I would say it was Jonathan who bought it. I would say, Jonathan, definitely check that out because you'll get comfortable with just the layout, the interface and the buttons and what they do. And then from there, use templates. And as you get more advanced, tear apart a template, make it your own, tear apart a template, make it your own. And then you're on your way. But that's the way I learned. And it was quick for me. It was like really quick, like to get using it.
And the beauty of just having it to be able to save scenes and save different templates and be able to recall things. And like for me, I went in and knew that, okay, I got keys that I've got to do for this instrumentalist. So I'd recall the keyboard section of it. And then I would recall the acoustic guitar section of it. Then I'd have male vocals, female vocals. But then I knew that come next week when I went to my next event, I could just recall default on all those and then master everything back out and save those other scenes. So if I ever had to come back to those things, it's like your own mini computer that is also an audio processor for you. So being able to save those things and easily recall them and bring those things up and the recording aspect and all the different things of what we do as if you're a DJ and you want to submix your audio and have different ways to do things. Like for me, I use a mirrored furniture piece. And so I can have my iPad right next to me that literally I'm sending 2 signals back to the TouchMix. Everything else is running through my rack and into the TouchMix as well. I can control that now from my table being 6 or 8 feet away from it with no issues. And then I know we've talked about this before, but the toasting aspect, that I can carry my iPad out into the crowd, give that first person that's toasting my second mic. I can be talking on mine. And as soon as we finish our toasting tips and practice and all the things, and I turn around and say, let's turn it over to Jessica, the maid of honor, I can turn around and kneel into the crowd and sit next to a table on my knee and EQ that person that's giving that toast at that point to have a full, clear, like no feedback. I'm not behind her. I'm not trying to hear things. I'm actually hearing what the guests are hearing.
Yep.
So it's amazing.
Well, I know that Jonathan's using it. Yeah, I know, Sam. That's right. I know that Jonathan's using it for a band. I think you mentioned in the comments. So you're gonna get immediate use out of the fact that you can be sound checking from the front of house as opposed to back of house using the iPad or applications.
Yep.
So you're gonna get instant payout from that.
And a beautiful thing too, Jonathan, for you is that, like Jeff said, use those templates that you can go in and know that if you're miking your kick drum, that you can recall the kick drum setting, tweak it to be what you want, save it, and then later on you don't have to go and dial every single thing in every single time, and you're going to be able to add different functionalities for the room types that you're in and the venue halls that you're in to kind of really dial in everything that you need. You're going to be able to save these settings. You can save an entire scene. Let's say you play at the same venue. You know you're going to play there once a month. You could save a scene that was that venue, that was your perfect sound, and not have to dial it in every time. You come in, you recall that scene for that exact venue, and then you know that your sound's going to be sounding exactly the way it was a month prior to that.
Yep. Jeff, we have that with venues that have those big glass domes, like the Grand Marquis. Like, we're using our TouchMix and we have that scene saved. So I know there's gonna be some minor tweaking that I have to do, but like I know going into it that these are the speakers and this is the TouchMix scene that I'm sending out with it. So we're not gonna sound like we're underwater or that we're blowing someone's face off.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, look, we wouldn't be on here if we didn't believe in QSC as a product and as a service. So we thank QSC for putting for those who are watching this up, there's plenty of resources to check us out at in terms of whether it's Jeff's content about how to use your TouchMix or little how-tos. They're all over the place, so you guys can check them out. All right. I know there was a question in one of the chat features that was asking about, are there any new trends that you're seeing in your private events? Now, our panel is mostly private events here. We dabble in club style events and beach bars and things like that. But for the most part, our bread and butter is private events, weddings, sweet 16s, corporate functions, bar and bat mitzvahs, things like that. So what are some of the trends that you're seeing? The first trend that I want to talk about is, because we're doing so many more outdoor events, I'm seeing a lot of crossover between my extra entertainment divisions. I used to never have extra entertainment like games and contests and backyard, activations and carnival things. I have all of that for my bar and bat mitzvah brand, but now we're using it for weddings. I'm seeing a lot of that. So the trend that I'm seeing is, how can you add value and service to your product? And the way that we're doing it for our weddings right now is thinking outside the box and saying, oh, you're having a big outdoor cocktail hour. We can bring 9 different backyard games, cornhole, can jam, ladder ball, and we're going to make you a big tailgate for your cocktail hour. And we're selling that, and people are buying it. So it's adding service. So that's one of the trends that we're seeing. Nate, what are you thinking?
Listen, what's the number one trending app on the planet right now?
So you're talking about TikTok?
TikTok, exactly. So one thing that I've seen on TikTok, I know Nick Spinelli talked about it on his show last week on his live, but I've noticed and I've had clients come up and ask me, they've seen this trend on TikTok, that they want to try to take a photo with every table that is at their wedding and say they try to do it in one song. So you have to set this up as an entertainer. It's kind of a game, and I've done it 3 different times now, but you set everybody up. And if most of these people who have been on TikTok, they know the trend that you're talking about. So it may be a little bit different for the older generations that are there to do this, but you go out and set it up and say, hey, listen, we're going to try to get a photo of every table in the room. So typically during dinner, while you're waiting on a course, whatever it may be, and then you get the photographers in, and then you set up a song. Don't go do a short edit that's 2 minutes because you're not gonna succeed. But you want to see the excitement, and it's really cool to see the different tables being ready for that couple to come from table to table to table to table, and the excitement in the room. And it's kind of it's a game in some sorts, but it's also a moment and a memory that every guest at that wedding is going to remember, and that client's going to remember, and then they're going to have actual tangible product with the photo that the photographers are taking to take back and have in their album. So that is an amazing trend. If you're not doing it, talk to your clients about it. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube, look it up on TikTok. You'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. But I think that is a trend that could stay around for a little bit, and I've seen it and done it quite a few times now.
And not only that, now you have everyone's attention on you, so you can transition into something else like packing your dance floor, you know? So I think that really helps you. I love those focal point moments that gets everyone's attention looking in one direction, because it makes it easier as an MC to really command that crowd. When you're in a big ballroom of 200 plus people and they all have different agendas, whether it's talking or eating or drinking or photo booths or dancing, having those focal points where you can, direct everyone's attention in some space gives you command as an MC. Jeff, what are some of the trends you're seeing?
I mean, for us, I have, not that there's anything being crazy, but I'm seeing like a lot more stuff that we, I guess, maybe haven't done as much coming back. We're doing a lot more live, like, I don't know, fusion stuff where, like, I've never worked with a trumpet player before for the entire reception. So like now we're doing like a percussionist, a sax player, a trumpet player, electric violinist, like all with us the entire wedding. Like there's so much more fusion where I have a lot of couples that, I guess, I don't know if they're talking their parents into like, parents want a band and they want a DJ and we're finding this middle ground. So I think we're getting a lot more of that, some big wow moment stuff there. And then for us, for a strange reason, I think our clients are going big on after parties. Like big, just, almost like trying to do, like literally how can we bring like a little night, not an after party, like, whatever, can we bring a nightclub into the after party? Like they want that whole thing. Then it's like, not just one food truck now. Now there's four food trucks outside and, also whatever thing. I've seen like massage tables at the after party.
Cigar rollers.
Wow.
Yeah, cigar rollers. Yeah. Just like, like there's, some bougie stuff with that, but for us there, I haven't, like I work with a lot of planners, so the stuff that you guys kind of been offering, that cocktail hour stuff, a lot of that's already like in the planner side of it before they get to us, so like the planner that they work with, we get a lot of referrals from wedding planners, so we work with a lot of them, which is great, honestly, because it's makes our life easy when you get the right ones. When you get when they go with the wedding planner that's kind of in a certain price point already, it makes your life a lot easier. Especially when that expensive wedding planner recommends you, it's a lot easier that way. But a lot of that stuff that you're talking about, we get there, or we're into our final appointment and we're with the planner, and the planner's like, "Oh, Jeff, this is what we got set up," and they already have like all that, what you're calling tailgate kind of stuff already set up. So for us, like, or for me personally, like a lot of that stuff we're not getting, but we're getting a lot of stuff during the reception, like I said, like the musicians, the big moment stuff, and and just like after parties, after parties are almost as much as the wedding now, which is
wild.
Yeah, I'll take
wild.
it.
Yeah,
I remember
at
my wedding, I got kicked out of my after party. Like we had an after party set up at the bar, at the hotel afterwards, and the hotel shut us down. They're like, "Yo, you guys are too much. You got to go."
I know.
I don't see that from you, Dylan, ever.
And after parties are 2 hours. You know what I mean? So like, some after parties like 2 hours. So you're cramming all this whatever into like a greatest hits.
Nate, you're telling me that you don't think that I can get down? You think I'm lame?
I mean, I've spent a lot of time with you, Dylan, in atmospheres where you should be raging and you're never raging. So,
well, was this pre-daddy though, or was this post-daddy?
This is
pre and post-daddy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was pre-daddy, but like even now, you were a lame duck in Hilton Head.
What?
Yeah.
Yo.
You don't know how to rage, Dylan.
Yo, remember the time that I beat?
Remember
Nate
that time that Remember that time we raced on the beach and I ran one way, you ran the other way? That's not called losing. That's called like being smart and knowing
Nate was
that
afraid to race
all
me.
no. We have a video of this. We
You guys
lined
need a
up
moment.
on
Do you want me to
the
step
beach.
away? You two need a
Nah.
moment to sort something out. I can step
No,
away.
we're getting
Nah,
ready for our fantasy-
we sorted it out, Jeff. I promise.
we're getting ready for our fantasy league podcast.
Yeah.
Where we
So we're just
where we give
preparing.
each other a hard time.
That's all we do is exactly.
All right, so I got to change that. I got to prove that I can hang out with the big boys. All right, so one of the topics on the agenda today, unless you guys have any other thoughts on just things that are trending for your private events.
No, I'm good. We could talk more about you not raging, but if you have another subject, we'll go with that.
I'm done with that.
He's done with that because he knows it's the truth. Listen up,
Not
man.
true.
Dylan, I don't know if you've ever been around, like you've been around me. You know that I'm never one to turn down a party. I have extreme FOMO. I'm going to rage the hardest, and that's probably why I'm knocked up on my ass, tired because I went too hard for like a month straight.
I'm
Facts.
going to say that is just not true. I can get down with the best of them. Okay. All right, we're done. We're done. With our last 10 minutes here, I want to address more or less the elephant in the room, which is, look, COVID-19 has put us on our ass. It has. And I'm getting a lot of feedback about what about this Delta variant? What are we going to do? Are private events going to happen? What is your company doing to prepare for it? And there's so many unanswered questions here. But one of the things that I want to put out there is this is the time to be proactive. This is the time to be offensive. Before we were on the defense, we were hit so hard from behind and blindsided. Our industry was shut down overnight. We didn't have a chance to be offensive, and we had to play defense a lot. So I want to talk a little bit about what are you guys going to do for the next few months to keep yourself ready to roll for your events as this new level of concern comes across our clients. Jeff, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, first and foremost, I'm going to just keep me and everyone that working around me healthy. So whatever happens, we're ready to keep, doing whatever we got to do. Obviously, since, what we went through helped us get prepared a little bit more for what might happen. So, I mean, even just on the back end for me, financially, I'm in a better place in case we do shut down. I definitely was not, I wasn't expected, whatever. So that alone, I guess in my own little world, I'm pretty comfortable with all their stuff. On the business side of it, I honestly haven't had not one client yet freak out about anything, which is pretty good. I've talked to a few people in New Jersey that are, connected with either their governor or mayor in their town and blah, blah, blah. And, I hear a lot of they don't think New Jersey might go as far back as other people think. And people are screaming I don't know whether election year or whatever it is. I think that it's just I think there'll be more precautions taken. I think there's going to be a lot of get out of jail free card with your vaccination thing. I think that might be a something that's in there. But honestly, for right now, all our clients, all our couples, even our corporate clients are happy. They're chugging along. They kind of know it's there. It's so I just don't think everyone is freaking out as much in my world as the first time around, because I think we're a lot more knowledgeable of what it is and what's going on and how it can affect it. And they say just keeping yourself safe and healthy and stuff like that, because obviously Nate, you get knocked out, there's nothing you can do. That's the one thing you can't control. That happens. You can do whatever you can to not get that. But once that happens, you're on the sidelines for whatever the days are, So
and there's nothing you can do, and you feel helpless, and it's the worst feeling in the world. So,
right. So I guess for me, I'm just being aware of what's going on. But right now, it's still not business as usual, but it's it's business in 2021 craziness.
Yep.
For me.
And if I can piggyback off that, I'll just say being in the situation that I'm in right now and not being able to perform my event this coming weekend, I feel a lot of emotions about that. I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm not happy for my clients because they, spent an investment in me and I'm not able to be there. And it's something that's out of my control. I didn't want to get COVID. I didn't want to be in a situation where I had to sit here. But I think that after going through this, that I'm going to do anything and everything in my power to make sure that, like Jeff just said, that I am safe, that my family's safe, that my team's safe, that everybody around me is safe, and that we're able to execute and do the things that we need to do, because there's nothing like being and feeling as helpless as I do not being able to celebrate with someone on, that one special night of their life. And it sucks. And so, yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
No, I'm glad that you shared, man. I mean, you're experiencing something that we hope to not have to do, and I know how much your families and your clients and your couples and your planners love you. For you not to be there, it's gotta break your heart. I have a little bit of a thought for you, Nate, with your downtime. Why don't you hop into your portal and find the request list and mix a couple songs and give it and email it to them on their wedding day? Just saying, I'm sorry I wasn't there, but like, here's a little bit of my taste for you, and that way they can listen to it in their like bridal suites and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and that's something that I am definitely going to start implementing in the first place. Is a tip and a trend that I did learn from Kristen Wilson, was that give them something to celebrate and have fun on and look forward to for that party. She sends a Spotify list over to her clients so that they can get ready to it, whether it's their bachelor party, whether it's the night before, whether it's the day they're getting ready for their wedding. But that's something that I'm definitely going to implement and start doing is, whether or not I record my set from the wedding or I make something I'm going to give them something to take away that's tangible and be able to do that. So I'm super stoked about that. Dylan, I know we're about running out of time, but I got something exciting that I want to talk about to kind of change the pace. One thing that we did and we learned through COVID was streaming and the technology to be able to do what we're doing right now. And this past couple of days in Las Vegas has been the NACE National Convention. NACE is the National Association of Catering and Events. And so they call it Experience every year. It's their national conference, and it was going on the last few days. Last night was their big awards gala, and Dallas Fort Worth brought home like 9 different awards at the awards gala last night, and also we won fundraiser of the year for my efforts that I put together with my co-partner Cami Petty Palmer, with our virtual fundraiser that we put together in the midst of the pandemic when things were first starting. We did our live thing back in September of last year, and so we won that award last night. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So
that's
awesome. National level, yes, sir.
Heck yeah!
Really, really, really cool.
Really cool.
And that's all now coming back to you to help you, sell bigger and better events.
Yeah,
those awards matter, I think. So nicely done. When you're able to say like, hey, we go to conferences and we network and we learn from other industries. That's all part of your sales tool. You like what separates you from your competitor? You're doing those things. You can say, listen, I participate in a panel, even for the people who are checking in on YouTube and Facebook. And I love that you guys are checking into this panel. That's another, notch in your belt, a feather in your cap. You can say, listen, I participate in an educational panel. Like all of those things matter to your clients. And I think that it'll help elevate your game here. So, we're about out of time here. Jeff, is there any place that we can catch you? What are you up to this weekend? Give me a little bit.
Not unless I sneak into events. I got private events tomorrow through Monday. Are you guys, I guess, are you going to be down at the expo at all? The DJ Expo in Jersey?
I'm thinking just Monday, if at all.
Yeah. I'll be down there. So, gonna, check in with the
jealous.
Yeah, I was jealous because I didn't get to go down to see you guys at Hilton Head, and
hey man,
I couldn't make it to Chicago, so I'm like already behind. I just saw you. I saw you at Midwest Live. I saw Nate at Midwest Live for like 9 hours.
You were in and out same day, but hey man, we get to spend some time together in Scottsdale. So
yeah,
for sure.
True that.
Nate, what do you got going on?
Nothing. I'm gonna be quarantined up. Actually, today's my 10 days, so CDC says that I can leave the house today. But I'm gonna go and get another test and see if I can produce a negative test. And then, man, I'm probably gonna go fishing this weekend. I may just hang out with the fam and kind of relax because. I don't get to do an event this weekend, but I don't have any other weekends off past this weekend before the end of the year, so I think I'm going to take advantage of it and kind of relax and spend some time with the fam before we go balls to the wall for the fall.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, we're jam-packed with events too this week. I'm doing 2 on Saturday and then a wedding on Sunday. So I mean, we'll definitely be keeping you guys in the loop about what's going on at those events on our Instagrams.
You guys can catch me on Twitch. I'm definitely gonna be streaming probably every day since I got nothing else to do and I'm got the itch to play. So
nice. So there you go. All right, well, QSC, thank you so much for putting us on. We love this. We are here every other week, piggybacking off of the ladies panels. So every week on Wednesday, you can catch a DJ discussion, whether it's Kristen and her team or us here as well. So for JSG, for Nate Nelson, and of course Jordan, who's normally with us, who's out, running the world or wherever he is. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Don't do anything you do, and we'll check you out real soon. Peace.